Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we're reviewing a figure which will almost certainly fall off the stand during this part. If it doesn't, I'll be amazed. It's very hard to make this figure stand, but this is the new Emma Frost figure. I know it came out a while ago now, but I never got around to reviewing it. Had other things going on. But it's actually a pretty solid release from Hasbro, so I thought we might as well take a look at it even though it's a little bit late. I'm sure some of you haven't tracked it down yet or were waiting to see if it was something you wanted to. And hopefully this review will help you. And if you already got it, then if you're watching, well, thanks for watching anyway. Maybe you'll enjoy the video even if you already own it. So let's go ahead and get it off the stand and take a closer. It didn't fall over. It didn't fall over. It took me forever to get it to stand there. I can't believe it didn't fall over. Well, all right. Bonus points for that. This figure stands just about 6.5 inches, which makes it pretty close to, let's say, 16.5 centimeters. And just for a quick height comparison, but really just a shameless plug, here she is against Gambit, who is very tall for standard average build type Marvel Legends, although he's probably well skilled with her. But she has giant heels. If you do have Gambit, you don't like the head on him, I am selling this head and a brown-haired version. Link in the top corner right there. It goes through January 15th. Let's get back to this video. Alrighty, well, this figure does reuse basically everything. Of course, we do have some new parts. The cape thingy, it's not a cape, it's a jacket with shoulder pads and a cape. It's I don't know what it is. I've never seen an article of clothing like this before, but it is unique to her. The cuffs, I believe, for her boots are also unique to her. The glove ones, I don't think so. The belt, I don't think so. The head is unique. So yeah, there's a little bit of new stuff on here, but that's okay. I don't have a problem with Hasbro reusing stuff. It's just a matter of how they do it, and so that's okay. And this one does appear to be done pretty well. The paint job for her boots, whatever that is supposed to be, it's pretty well done. It's pretty good. The paint job for the skin tone on the chest, we'll get to the sculpt later, but the paint job is clean, it's pretty good. Same thing for the arms. The X logos up here, not that great, though they're not terrible, so that's okay. I don't know why Hasbro has so much difficult painting X's. The belts on the X-Men are almost always awful, and then they've done other things that are fine. Like this looks pretty good. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's fine for a $20 figure. That's perfectly fine. The face, though, that's the important thing, because Hasbro has had a pretty rough track record for female faces. This one is not bad. It's not perfect, don't get me wrong, but that's a pretty face. I mean, that's fine. If I saw her in the wild, I'd be like, hey lady, you have a nice face. And I think that's how most people probably would feel about this. No shading in the hair though, unfortunately, that kind of sucks. And we do have an alternate head, so let's just talk about that briefly, even though we're not in the accessory section. Also, a very pretty face. She's got a little bit of Bernie Mac eye going on, but your paint job's gonna vary anyway, so I think I can assume that that's not a universal thing, and even then it's not that bad. It's pretty good. The lips have a little bit of shading on there. No shading in the hair, but again, a pretty face. Okay, so what other things you have to talk about? The sculpt. Legs have no sculpt on them at all. They're just plain old legs. The boots we've seen before. The cuffs, like I said, those are new. Those are okay. Arms we've seen before. I think we have. I don't know. There's some clothing wrinkles up here, so maybe they haven't. I don't remember. Maybe. Doesn't matter. These are little cuff pieces. Those are fine. This thing is sculpted well. I don't mind that it goes off to one side so much because it's not like terribly aesthetically unpleasing. It's not bad. Probably because it's so thin. I think that's fine. That's okay. Shoulder pads are okay. We'll get to the articulation. And then the neck thingy, it's okay. The only thing that's bad about the sculpt on this figure, really, is her chesticles, or are her chesticles. And I really should say just chesticle, singular, because whoever sculpted this doesn't know what boobages look like. It's just like one giant mass that comes forward a little bit with like a little crease down the middle. They're not sculpted like boobages really at all. It's in the middle. The cleavage part is the weird part. The side part, like, yeah, boobs look like a round lump from the side, so that's fine. But the cleavage part is totally weird. And I'm guessing, and I would put money on this if there was some way for me to do that, that was intentional to make it less sexually appealing. Because that's just a thing we have to worry about, apparently. Whatever, I'm not going to get into that again. Yes, I am, briefly. How come the men can walk around completely naked for superheroes, built like Greek gods, but the women all have to look like stick people made out of noodles? Like, that just doesn't make sense, and it's not because I need my action figures to be sexually pleasing. That's not what they're for. That's just not what the characters look like. They should look like the characters. And that's irritating to me that they can't do that anymore. It's ridiculousness. And that's the only bad thing about this figure, honestly. The chest looks ridiculous. That's all. It's a matter of accuracy. And also boobs. All right, moving on. Well, so the aesthetic, let's give it an 8. Other than the boobs, it's pretty good. On to the accessories. We already saw the head, so we have the 2 different heads. Both are very nice. And then we have the 2 open hands and 2 fist hands. That's fine. That's it. A little underwhelming. Not bad. I'll give it a 7, I guess. Alternate heads and hands. That's okay. That's fine. All right, moving on to the articulation. The head is in a lollipop situation, but you can't see it, and the head is at a good height, so I think that's okay. You can still rotate it, of course. You can lean it back, but you're gonna experience some blockage from the hair, so it's not gonna go too far back, which will be okay. You can lean it all the way forward thanks to the lollipop. Don't do that, it looks weird. And then you do get just a little bit of attitude, so that's okay. This hair can be moved to rotate the head to the side, so that's good. I like it, that's fine. It's your standard hinge and ball peg, by the way, if you're not aware by now how they build them, that's how they build them. These are connected up at the top, which kind of blows, but since they're small and don't really get in the way, like, it's not a huge issue, it's just ugly. Like, that's never a good way to do a shoulder pad, but you still get the full range out of the arms except for going straight up all the way because of the shoulder pad, so yeah, it is what it is. I don't think it's that big of a deal for her. They go all the way out to the side, no swivel up there. You do get the swivel down here in the elbow, which is just better than 90 degrees, so you have that. And then, of course, the wrists have a swivel and a hinge, that's all standard. Is her diaphragm joint any good? It leans forward a little bit, back a little bit, side to side an even littler bit, and rotation. It's not one of the good ones, but it's not one of the bad ones, so it's okay. Floaty belt is floaty. Hips go better than, well, I guess it's close to 45. This one seems to go a little bit farther, but that's not bad. That's plenty good range there. Going forward, just about horizontal. Going back, not at all. Thigh swivel is fine, nicely hidden by the paint, that's good. Double knee joint is fine, floaty things get out of the way. Ankles have decent range, but they did the heels that are very heel-like, and so it's very hard for her to stand, and you do get an ankle rocker out of it, but it is just a vertical swivel, really, because of that angle there. And here's the thing, like, if you're gonna do heels, that's fine, but at least make this part flat. Yeah, I know in real life they're curved. These aren't real people. Make them flat so it's easier to stand. She's very difficult to stand, to balance on these. They did put pegs in here, which I guess is good, but to my knowledge, other than maybe in a couple of bases from the old Toy Biz figures, Hasbro has never released stands for things like this. So if you're gonna do that, just spend the extra 15 cents, Hasbro, and give us a little clear pegged base, or even a black plastic one to help them stand. I mean, it wouldn't cost that much, and it would be a very much appreciated thing, but that's not a big deal. So articulation's fine. It's not great, but it's fine, so I'll give it another 7. Yeah, it's a relatively strong release. I mean, it's not going to knock anybody's socks off, but other than the chesticle being sculpted poorly, it's a perfectly good release from Hasbro. I mean, this is what I would expect them to make for every release. It's perfectly acceptable in every way except for the breasticles, and that's the way it goes. So I'm going to give it an overall rating of 7 if you really care about the chest being stupidly sculpted. I'll give it an 8 if you don't care about that. You can choose for yourself. And that'll do it, guys. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. And if you haven't subscribed, you probably should, unless you didn't like the video, then it wouldn't make any sense. But I do have new videos out just about every single day, and thousands already on the channel just waiting for you. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.